Welcome to the Traitors, a Traitors podcast. My name is David Bloomberg, and I'm your host for the first episode covering the Traitors US Season 4. While Peacock dropped 3 episodes at once, we're splitting it up the same way we did last year, with the premiere in this podcast, and then episodes 2 and 3 in another that will come a few hours later or so. To be clear, we will not be talking about or spoiling episodes 2 and 3 at all in this podcast, so if you've only seen episode 1 so far, you're safe. This week, I have a special guest that some of you may know. Everyone be ready. It's Matthew, the guy who owns this podcast.
Woo! I'm back on my podcast. Hooray! What a surprise. I didn't even know I was going to do this until... like a few days ago or something. Hey, why not record 5 podcasts a week instead of just 4? One extra doesn't matter, doesn't hurt. Yeah. So I guess thanks for having me on my podcast. It's nice to be here. It's quite nice sitting back when someone else does the intro and I don't need to do anything. Just let you do all the work.
Yeah, I'm the one who was up till 2 a.m, and doing all this. Now, people may be wondering why I consider you a special guest on your own podcast, but as you mentioned, you're busy covering 3 days per week of the Traitors UK, so we weren't sure we'd be able to get the schedule working while that was going on.
But yes, we've made it work, and I haven't seen episodes 2 and 3, so I can only talk about episode 1. Yes. You're going to be doing most of the recapping for us, David, but I have my notes. I have lots of thoughts on episode 1, and I can sort of accurately predict what may happen next, and you'll just have to not say anything. And just...
I'm gonna at the end. I'm gonna predict too because I wrote it all down before turning on episode 2. So
okay. I mean, you could make anything up and predict everything absolutely perfectly, but you would never do that. I don't believe you would do such a thing.
So coming into this season, how many of these players did you know?
I know maybe 4 or 5. I know Monet Exchange from Drag Race. I know Mama Kelsey, as she has come to be known. I mean, I don't really know. I obviously just know who Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce are.
You know who Taylor Swift is? Whoa!
She's this singer you might not have heard of. She's very small. I think she's from your country, so maybe you've heard of her. I know Johnny Weir, the skater, not even because I'm a skating fan. He just sort of has become a sort of personality in his own right. I know Lisa Rinna.
He definitely is that, yes.
Yes. Lisa, I know, again, I don't watch The Housewives, but she's sort of transcended that to just be this sort of pop culture figure from social media and so on. So yeah, a handful of them, I kind of know who they are. Most of them I don't.
Okay. All right. Well, before we start, I want to address the possible elephant in the room. While I obviously podcast here on the Traitors for the Traitors, I got my start podcasting for and still mostly do on RHAP, or Rob Has a Podcast. I have known Rob Sesternino for, I was going to say over 22 years, but it may be even longer than that. I can't remember I meant to check this when his season aired, but it's been a long time. And he actually used my Survivor rules that I talk about occasionally to study for when he went on the show. He snuck them into the pregame so he could page through them while he was preparing to be on Survivor. So he's obviously a friend of mine. But I am committed to objectivity in all of my podcasts, and I have no idea why anyone might ever suggest otherwise. So, I just want to make that fully 100% clear.
Okay. Also, nice crossover. Also with a bit of Taylor Swift sort of imagery.
Yes.
Well done.
I do think it is funny that they made the shirt. I didn't make the shirt. They made the shirt with the Taylor Swift eras type of a situation with all these different pictures of Rob from over the years for anyone who's just listening, not watching. I do think that is pretty funny considering, he ends up on the same show with Donna Kelsey.
Yeah, I have my Taylor Swift Eras tour. I went to see it in London. I should have worn my t-shirt next time. I mean, If Mama Kelsey is still around on the show, of course, I will wear it in future.
Or if not, you can wear it as in memoriam.
Yes,
That's
exactly. In homage to her memory.
yes.
We'll
I
see
mean,
what
you won't be
happens.
back here till episode 7, so we'll have to see. Uh,
Yes, that's true. Wow. Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Maybe I'll send in a voice note or
yeah.
a little video or something.
Now, I don't know anyone else personally. I've chatted with Jam Jam online. I know some of the people who he played with. And I obviously, quote unquote, know the other Survivor and Big Brother players from covering them over the years.
Hmm.
But yeah, there's only one that I knew personally. So, with that out of the way, I think we can jump into episode 1.
Yes, let's do it.
Well, we begin, of course, with the players arriving at the castle. There are the usual random comments that I don't think we need to go through, except a couple that amuse me. Jam Jam asking everyone in the car if they want to be faithfuls or traitors. And of course, there is only one answer: faithful. And even he says that and then tells us privately, of course, he wants to be a traitor, which is also what he told Alan in the Castle Confessions that were released a few days ago, where he showed his evil laugh. And I did a video with my own evil laugh. And I have to say, everyone who commented, I was given a 100% win rate for my laugh over his. Sorry, Jam Jam.
I agreed. I saw your video. Very impressed with your evil laugh. I would like to hear more of it. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Well, you can clip it. We talked about this,
I should.
maybe
Yes,
use it.
I will.
So when they arrive at the castle, it's dark, and Rob says, "So creepy." Which I did not catch this the first time, but some other people online noted this takes him all the way back to Survivor the Amazon, his first season, when one of his castmates, Christy, said that about their fellow player Matt. She was like, "Ooh, he's so creepy." So I think it's pretty funny. I'm sure he did not. Well, I'm not sure. I guess it's possible that he did that on purpose, but probably not. But it's a funny coincidence.
Mm.
So after a bit of a flaming light show, they get out of their cars and start to mingle. Lisa and Dorinda see each other and hug. Lisa wants to be the most iconic player ever. Sorry, that's not going to happen. Suri has that one locked up.
Yeah, yes, I have made a note of this. I'm going to go out on a limb and say she will not become the most
No,
iconic traitor ever.
no.
Even, never mind Suri, I just can't. From what I know about Lisa Rinna and from what I see of her in episode 1, I cannot imagine this woman not getting banished. Like, she's so out there. Maybe I'm going to be proven wrong. I'm willing to be proven wrong, but she seems so extra to me. I cannot imagine. For obviously, she becomes a traitor, but at this moment, I didn't know that in the episode.
Right.
Even when she is chosen, I'm having difficulty imagining her as becoming the most iconic traitor ever.
Yeah, or player. I mean, I think she said player ever.
Or
She might have
player.
said traitor. But yeah, no, it's sorry, not
Yeah.
happening. Um, Rob hugs Tiffany, who he, of course, knows from covering Big Brother, and he tells us how awesome she is and how he wants to align with her as a fellow game player. So I'm already, happy to see those two together. Johnny Weir tells us that while he and Tara Lipinski are obviously besties, they're going to pretend they aren't to avoid being seen as a duo. And my immediate thought is that is a really dumb idea because I don't watch. I mean, I might tune in to figure skating during the Olympics, which,
Hmm.
by the way, is the real reason they're on, so that Peacock can then promote the Olympics. I have nothing against them. I like both of them fine, and we'll see how they do. But this is the reason why suddenly two figure skaters who happen to be announcers for the Olympics are on the show.
Ah, okay. Didn't know that.
Yes. And so, I mean, they didn't say it outright, but like during, I think was it the end of one of the episodes or at the end of one of the Castle Confessions? It's like, and watch, on
Uh,
on Peacock, the
I see.
Olympics are
I
coming.
see.
But so they say, well, my point was I barely watch any figure skating, and I know those two know each other very, very well.
Yeah.
So it will only take a couple people in this castle to have ever seen figure skating to know this. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out if they can pull it off.
Or even if you don't like know that they know one another. I mean, the
Right.
fact that they both have the same profession, you could just figure out their paths must have crossed. I'm
Right.
sure they know each other beyond this
Yeah.
castle. I mean, I get what he's saying. Like, everyone knows that anyway. We won't add any more to it. Like, so,
Yeah.
maybe they'll acknowledge, yeah, we know each other, but they're not going to spend lots of time
Right.
together or something. I
That
thought it was
seems to
quite,
be their plan. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I thought it was funny that Rob from Love Island, doesn't know Johnny Weir, and Rob seems quite nonplussed about everything. Like, there's a
Yes.
moment where Maura, who's um, she's like from Love Island as well. I don't watch Love Island, but I know her over here in the UK. She tries to kind of connect with him, like, "Oh, hey, Love
Yes.
Island person." He just looks so uninterested in connecting over this. Just a couple more things to add, and maybe you're gonna. I'm sure we'll talk more about. This is Kelsey. Well, first of all, my most important question is Taylor Swift watching The Traitors? And therefore, is there some possibility she may come across her podcast?
Oh,
Or
100%. We know
maybe
she's listening. Hi, Taylor.
Hi,
Hi.
Taylor. I would like to just point out I am an OG Swiftie. I am not some sort of fake jumping on the bandwagon Eras Tour Swiftie. I've been there from the start when no one in the UK cared about this country singer from this. I was in there early. Taylor, hello. Mama K, hello. I'm calling her Mama K, which is hilarious because, of course, on Traitors Canada, they named one of the players there Mama K. This really is Mama K. So I have more thoughts on her as the episode goes on. I just wanted to add one more thing about Tiffany from Big Brother, because I don't know who she is,
Right.
but you do, and her name is Tiffany Mitchell. Is that right?
I think so.
Someone says
Sorry,
Tiffany
I don't
Mitchell's.
necessarily memorize all the last names. But
No, I only know because one of the players says it out loud. Someone says
yeah.
Tiffany Mitchell's a Big Brother legend, and I'm going to speak on behalf of UK viewers and say, hold on a minute. Tiffany Mitchell is an EastEnders legend. This means nothing to you, I'm sure, David, but there is a sort of iconic soap character from like 30 years ago called Tiffany Mitchell, and who was on EastEnders, the big soap in the UK, at a time when 15 million people watched EastEnders. So Tiffany Mitchell is forever in our hearts, and this just made me laugh. So I know that everyone in the UK will be like, Tiffany Mitchell? Like, I just know it. So I just had to say it. Those are my thoughts.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. To add to what you said about Love Island Rob, I do think, yeah, Maura asked him, oh, we have to work together. And he's like, maybe. Uh, and I don't know that she catches on to how not into the idea he is. But he tells us it's weird to be there because he's wearing clothes and hasn't kissed anyone yet. So
Yeah, within the first 30 seconds, we had a shot of him on the floor, top off, eating grapes. So I thought, oh, okay. Hi, Rob. Which is funny because this is not a spoiler, in the UK version on right now, some viewers, I hadn't even noticed, they're not doing these sort of B-roll bedroom shots anymore, but they're still doing it in the US. So
yeah,
maybe, I don't know, maybe all the B-roll budget went on US Traitors, and in UK they were like, we don't have time for that.
yeah, yeah. Alan and his minions walk up to the castle. Alan tells us he's going to pick a secret traitor, which those of us who watch the UK version are familiar with. In case you're not watching the UK version, don't worry, we're not going to spoil it. But what you'll find out here is the other traitors won't even know who the secret traitor is, and we won't even know, which is something that a number of viewers have been saying, oh, wow, wouldn't the show be cool if, we didn't even know who the traitors were. So this is kind of a halfway measure to that. This is starting off differently than it did in the UK. So right from the get-go. And, well, there's some other differences as well, and these will progress as the season goes on, I think. We're looking at possibly doing a special podcast just to discuss the differences and comparisons between the UK and US secret traitor, maybe later this week. So if you have any questions or thoughts about that, be sure to send them in. But this way, we don't have to talk about the UK version on the US podcast or the US version on the UK podcast, and we won't get anyone mad if you're not watching both of them. We'll make a special podcast just for you. So
I have a question for you, David.
Okay.
And again, this is not a spoiler. In the UK, here in the UK, all of the promo for this current season of Traitors was very much focused on the red cloak and there's a big twist coming. But from what I saw online, there wasn't as much emphasis for the US one. Right.
I was literally telling someone on Blue Sky an hour before the show started. No, I don't think they're doing the secret traitor on the US version. I had originally assumed they would. But then I was talking to someone on some social media place, and they said maybe they'll hold it over for the civilian version.
Yeah.
And I said, you're right. That makes a lot of sense because the secret traitor is more strategy focused. And the US celebrity version, the way they aim it at the audience is not as strategy focused.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? Maybe they will hold it. And I was, proven wrong an hour later. But I think that they probably didn't advertise it for a couple reasons. One, because UK, everybody knew already what it was. So as soon as they mentioned the red cloak, everyone is going to know about it. And two, again, that's not their focus. Their focus is on, here are these people, meet these people that you already know. Yeah. So I think that's why they didn't even mention it.
Okay.
So Alan brings in his guards as the players wonder what's going on. Dorinda whispers that she can't be murdered on the first night again. And all I can think of is that the traitors, whoever they may be, have the opportunity to do the funniest thing.
I thought this would be hilarious if she is murdered again on the first night.
Yeah.
As it turns out that, end of the episode, we know that can't happen. But
yeah,
that's really mean of me, but it just would have made me laugh if it had happened again.
Me too. Absolutely. It did indeed happen once on Survivor. One time they brought back a first boot for a returning season and they booted her first again.
Oh,
and so, yeah, see, now we are, just so people who are regular viewers or listeners know, we are not playing the Traitor game, at least for now in the US version. There's just too much going on. 3 episodes. I was up till 2 a.m. I can't think to lie right now. I can barely see straight. But this would be a great one for a lie, because you'd be like, there's no way they brought back a first boot. Come on.
Yes, no, I just have to trust everything you tell me,
That's
David.
right. Well, you should anyway, especially when we're playing that game. So Alan says he's about to pick his first traitor right here. Each of them get a small chest, and one of them will see a traitor card when they open it up. And this is happening in plain sight, so everyone has a chance to see reactions. And I'm thinking they each get handed them and then look. But no, they each get called down one by one in front of the rest of the cast. And he opens the box, they look at it, he closes it, and, they have to just control the look on their face or not. I'm wondering why they don't just go, yes, faithful, just what I wanted,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Just act relieved and go, oh, yeah, great. And come back saying, oh, that's great, I'm a faithful, or whatever. Or come back and go, oh man, I wanted to be a traitor. Yeah. But yeah, they all play it. They all decide, I get to just be very stoic and give nothing away.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you run the risk of being accused of faking your happy reaction. So maybe it's best to just do nothing. Yeah.
Although we will later see in one of these episodes that someone gets accused. Oh, did you see the look on their face when he opened the box? So it doesn't matter. We know that no matter what you do, someone's going to read something into it. So,
of course.
When Donna is called up, Dorinda says, no one's going to murder her. The Swifties will kill you. which is funny because that has been the overall chatter online leading up to the show. Lots of people, myself included, have been making jokes about that. And it starts right off the bat on the show itself.
Yeah, and my reaction was, "Yep, they probably will." This some of the Swifties are hardcore.
Yeah.
I agree. There were a couple of other reactions I laughed at. Well, the main one was Candace, who, like, I think she goes up and the box. In fact, she's the first one, isn't she? And Alan asks her how she feels or something, and she goes, "Oh, I'm shaking like a faithful."
Yes.
Too much. Get it? You
Yeah.
don't need to say I'm shaking like a faithful. Okay, we get it. You yawn. Okay. It just made me laugh. And then she says in her confessional that she's not just a housewife, she's really accomplished. She says she has 2 degrees. And I thought, okay, well, didn't know that. Really impressive. And then she says,
I've
worked
what
in the
those
White.
degrees are in. I have no idea what they're in. So
Could be anything.
Could
But
be
then she follows
underwater
it up
basket
with,
weaving for all we know.
she says, I've worked in the White House. And I thought, less impressive. Knowing now what I know about some other people in the White House, this doesn't really mean much anymore. So
She didn't say she worked in this White House, so
that's true.
That's good. But and I have again no idea what she did in the White House either. So
yeah,
I'm sure that information is out there. It's just I'm not interested enough in her to look that up. Sorry.
yeah.
So let's see here. Michael goes up, and there are whispers about him possibly being a traitor already, which I like to hear because I want him gone. And then Rob is brought up last with a nice Scottish roll of the R in his name by Alan. Maybe you can do it.
Rob. Yeah.
Yes, very good, very good. As he's walking up, Caroline whispers to the skaters that they need to be friends with him because he was the mastermind of Survivor and he'll figure out all this shit for them. Which, of course, I like to hear. Yes. Alan asks if he's ready to play, and Rob responds, so fucking hard.
Yeah.
Which has already become a meme. I have already seen this all over the place. Which, admittedly, my little, part of the world may be more of a meme than other parts. When he walks back, Caroline whispers again that they should keep their eyes on him, which makes me think, wait, why do you say keep your eyes on him? You just said be close to him. Don't switch on me now, Caroline. So into the castle they go, chatting and talking. People are generally freaked out that one of them is already a traitor. Ian tells us he's there to have fun, but there is nothing more fun than winning, which is one reason I like Ian. Monet knows Jam Jam from watching Survivor, while Jam Jam knows Monet from watching Drag Race, so they seem to become fast friends. Jam Jam says they're more dangerous people than the gamers and looks at Donna. Not exactly who I would have immediately thought of.
Yeah, that made me laugh. Monet just clocking Mama Kelsey, like, her over there. Like, look at her, all innocent. Yeah, that was a funny moment. I didn't know that Monet Exchange was a big Survivor fan. That's very cool. And maybe that'll help her in the game. I don't know. I was wondering, now that the players, they know that a traitor's been chosen out there, will it occur to any of them that traitor is somehow different? I wonder, obviously the main traitors find it out when they get to the turret, but I wonder if the faithful will ever think, hey, why was that one person picked at that moment? Does that mean something? Right. I don't know if it'll occur to them.
I don't think it would, because there's never been anything like this before.
Yeah,
I
guess.
So I think they just think, oh, it's some weird twist where they pick a traitor first,
Yeah, just a way to give us a little clue to start the game off or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Maura tells others she doesn't know anyone besides Love Island Rob, and adds to us that she's going to play innocent. She also says something very smart to the others, that she couldn't judge anyone's reaction because she doesn't know them. And I say that this is very smart because so many times we talk about faithfuls claiming to have gotten a great read, even though, like she just said, you don't know them. You don't know how they would react.
Yeah. And I don't know that much about I know who Maura is. I recognize her. I didn't watch her on Love Island. I've seen her on a couple of other like game shows and things like that. But I wonder if she will do well sort of by accident. If she does just sort of play quite a low-key game, doesn't make any assumptions, isn't targeting people because they were on a particular show, maybe that will actually just serve her quite well to sit back, observe, act a bit, well, I'm saying act a bit clueless. Maybe she just is a bit clueless about the game. So she, maybe this is good for her.
Yeah, yeah. All right, it is time for the choosing roundtable, plus, of course, meetings with Alan.
Yes.
There's really nothing too exciting in those brief exchanges. So, blindfolds on and the selection process begins. First up
I do have something exciting to say.
Oh, you do? Okay.
David, I thought we would talk about this at length. It's just a thought that I had. These interviews, as far as we know, unless they've totally messed with us, take place after one of the people has already been chosen as a traitor outside.
Right.
Therefore, are there some clues here? Like, is he really going to interview someone to ask, do you want to be a traitor?
Oh.
If they've already been picked as a traitor. So, I thought, maybe they're not going to show us a clip of the person who's been chosen. So that might help us deduce who it is. Or are they going to have an interview with Alan, but choose sort of ambiguous moments?
I think probably that. I think they'll choose ambiguous moments where he's not asking them, do you want to be a traitor? But something like, what would you do? Or how are you planning to play the game? Or something like that.
Yeah, like I'm just going to say it right now. My prediction for Secret Traitor is Mama Kelsey. I think it's her. And she does say something in her interview clip with Alan that could be something that she said knowing she already is a traitor. She says to him, I think I can be ruthless. And when the time comes and murder needs to be done, I'm your person. So that could potentially be her saying, well, I've been picked, so I think I'll be good at it. There's a couple of other people you could also have taken their comments in that way. But it just struck me, hey, some of them, one person already knows they're a traitor. So maybe we'll see when we find out.
Yeah, I honestly, it just didn't occur to me because this was so, new. I should have thought of that, but yeah, so we will see. Yeah. Okay, now it's time for the choosing. And first up is Candace, who tells us something I've said many times before. The game is called The Traitors, not The Faithful. And traitors are the main character, and she's the main character. Next is Lisa Rinna. So she, is very happy because, of course, she wants to be iconic. And finally, we have Love Island Rob. So there are no gamers, at least in the known group. That is going to mess with people so hard because I guarantee the faithful will assume there's at least one person from Survivor and or Big Brother, which can be one of two things. Either that means the secret traitor is a gamer, or obviously the other option is none of them are, and they're really messing with the players and what they expect. And, we'll see that come into play in a few minutes when it comes to somebody immediately jumping to a conclusion.
Yeah. I was surprised by the choice as well. After the two housewives were chosen, I was really surprised that then it was Rob from Love Island. I just sort of had eliminated him as a possibility. I was looking at the people that I now know were on Survivor or Big Brother. I thought, okay, it's going to be one of those people. Oh, it's this dude. This is. So yeah, I was also surprised. And you spoke about Candace there saying it shows about main characters. I'm obviously a main character. I immediately thought main character energy famously brings trouble in this show. Yes. So Candace, I think, goes on to prove that in this episode. So maybe she, like Lisa, needs to just calm down a bit.
So yeah, as far as the situation of not having them, I think it's good to have a season that doesn't have any of the initial traitors, because from now on, it's kind of like when there was a version that I won't mention that had all women traitors.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, there must be a man. There must be a man. No, there doesn't have to be. the producers, sorry, Alan, can choose whoever he wants. So, this is good because it will shake up expectations for the future.
Yeah.
So, as in the UK version, there is no murder the first night, so they go off to mingle. In one group, Natalie stands up and tells them to look into her eyes. She's a faithful and wants to play an aggressive, faithful game. And I'm like, wow, you should not be doing that. Drawing that kind of attention right off the bat is a bad idea. Methinks she doth protest too much.
Oh, does that... Well, first of all, I had the same reaction. I just thought, no, stop it. Don't do a speech. Doing speeches is bad. Stop. And I obviously don't know that much about Natalie. You'll know more than I do. Does that mean are you saying something here, David? Do you think she is the secret traitor?
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying, oh, you're going to end up in trouble.
Yes, other people will think that.
Yes.
What's Natalie's sort of background on Survivor? Did she win?
So she and her identical twin were on The Amazing Race twice.
Okay.
And they were both incredibly annoying. They had a lot of fans, a lot of haters. And then there was what was called a blood versus water season of Survivor. So they had family members on each tribe. And she and her twin sister were on separate tribes. Her twin sister was voted out first.
Okay.
And she won.
Okay. Wow.
So, and then from there, obviously producers and stuff are more interested in general in the winners than the person who came in last place. And so their paths diverged a little bit when it came to reality TV. She did come back on the Winners at War season, and she got second place there. And it's complicated. The majority of the voters didn't want her to get second place, but they were worried she would win instead of the person they wanted to. So although some of them wanted to vote for the person who was eventually third place, they piled their votes on the one who ended up winning to make sure that person won rather than Natalie.
Okay. I'm going to... What you've just told me has changed everything. My theory is the secret traitor is Natalie's identical twin.
Yes. Ooh, that would be a twist. Whoa. It's not actually Natalie.
I figured it out. Okay.
That'll be the big twist.
You can continue now that I've solved it.
There are these family twists sort of in the UK sometimes. So you could just, maybe she's doing an old US Big Brother trick and they're swapping in and out every day.
That's what's going on. I've called it.
Okay. All right. Well, Michael tells a group that as a person who studies the game, remember this, he said he studies the game. Actually, just keep that in mind. There are 5 housewives and 5 gamers. So mathematically, at least one of each is a traitor. Except, of course, this game isn't based on math, and we know that isn't true. Tiffany clocks it right away and tells us he's either a terrible traitor or a terrible faithful who's drawing attention to himself immediately and calling people out.
Yeah, I'm going terrible faithful. I think it's that one.
I'm just going terrible and not picking one or the other. So Candace tells the group she thinks Lisa is the one who has the capacity to be a traitor, which is funny because she's unknowingly turning on a fellow traitor.
Yes. Yeah, man. Like, what's she doing? Like, she's not... Just wait until you've found out. I get what she's doing. I get she wants to act like a faithful.
Right.
But just wait a minute. Wait till you've found out. Because, at least, I'm jumping ahead, but at least in the turret, she says, oh, yeah, by the way, I've told people I think you're the traitor. We're going to have to backtrack. But I thought you wouldn't have to backtrack if you hadn't done this. You could have just held on a little bit.
I mean, she was probably playing the math also and figuring there wouldn't be 2 housewives as traitors.
I guess, yeah.
But
maybe.
Still, yeah. Meanwhile, Michael continues to draw attention to himself by yelling across the room that Love Island Rob is too quiet and good looking.
People say this to me all the time, David.
Yeah,
I understand Rob's trouble.
Yeah.
Poor Rob. It's so difficult being so good looking.
Yeah. It is. I feel your pain. As the clock chimes for bedtime, Tiffany tells Rob they need to be in a gamer alliance. He agrees and says she's the perfect person to bring them all together. And off they go upstairs to their pretend bedrooms before they actually sneak out to their real bedrooms.
Yeah. Don't know why they still do this, but
yeah.
Oh well.
I guess it's like they started it. They have to I do think they have some stuff up there. I think they have like changes of clothes up there because there's a few times, non-spoiler for 2 and 3. There's a couple times where they seem to come down wearing different things than when they went up, but that's about it. Okay. All right. It is time for the Traitors' Oath. Well, for 3 of them. Lisa and Candace uncloak in the turret and laugh hysterically. Meanwhile, Love Island Rob tells us he hopes his fellow traitors are level-headed and calm. No such luck. He comes in and uncloaks, and they squeal some more.
They also I mean, maybe I'm you're going to go and you're just about to say this. I thought it was not good news that both Rob and Candace then tell Lisa, yeah, we probably thought you were a traitor.
Yeah.
Like if I was Lisa, I would be not happy that that's what's happening already.
Yes. And so, then as they talk beyond that, they realize, wait, there's one more traitor. And then Alan is shown pretending to talk to the red-cloaked secret traitor, but really just talking to a camera, before he joins the 3 traitors in the turret to explain the secret traitor's role. And there is a difference here. I know we're going to discuss that in a whole separate podcast, but the secret traitor will not know their identity, just as they don't know the secret traitors. But as in the UK, they will create a short list for the regular traitors to select from, and which will continue until such time as they all unite.
Alan doesn't explicitly say it, I don't think. I assume the secret traitor can't put their own name on the list.
Right. Because that's my assumption too.
Yeah, because, what if the traitors accidentally choose them to be murdered on night 1 and then it's kind of blown?
Yeah, I will say later on when they're looking at a list, one of them says, well, we know it can't be one of these people. Either he says it and it's, not shown to us, or it's just implied.
Okay.
Candace shares her thoughts with us that are similar to what we heard in the UK, that the secret traitor position makes them feel like second fiddles. And meanwhile, they all agree to be loyal to each other and they put in hands. And I'm thinking, sure. Okay. The next morning, we have our first mission. And it's the same as the first one for the UK, as they see a bunch of floating coffins in a lock, while Alan is dressed as a coffin.
Jesus. What the hell is he? At
least he's not wearing a purse to cover his chest,
That's true. I mean, I'm speechless. I want to embrace Alan's stylist's choices, and it's fun and it's theatrical and it's supposed to be a bit ridiculous, but what the hell is this? Like, this is just nuts.
I don't know what you're talking about. I expect to see these at the Gap in the very near future,
I'm struggling to get on board with this one. It just looks insane to me, but hey, what do I know?
That's the point.
I know.
So the players will have to row out in the lock, find the coffins marked as being worth money, tow them back, place them into an empty grave, $2,500 for each, and they have 45 minutes. So the team split into 3 boats and row away. Well, the red boat rows away. The other 2 get stuck for a few minutes and can't figure out what they're doing. Red finds a coffin worth money, then green does. Red approaches the graveyard, and they find the twist. The graves each have names on them. Any grave with a coffin in it is up for murder. The empty ones are shielded. They agreed to put it in the closest one of someone who's not in their boat, which is Ron. And Rob tells us that as a gamer, he wanted to talk it all through about how it will help strategically. And I'm a little bit like, and Rob talks about that more a little bit on the official, Peacock podcast, which you don't need to listen to it. It's kind of like watching Traitors Uncloaked. You don't need to. You've got us. Trust me. But I'm like, sorry, Rob, I just don't think there's a chance of that happening. For one thing, I don't even know what the strategy would be. The way he talks about it at first, I don't know what the strategy would be since they all just met each other and they're all from different backgrounds. And second, it's clear nobody wants to stop during a timed mission and talk things through.
Yeah, I had the same thought. A, there isn't time, and B, yeah, I don't know how you do decide I don't know what the advantage is at this point when there are so many people and you're choosing, like, is it 10 coffins? So, like,
yes, up to.
it'd be different if it was only 2 or 3 or 4 maybe, but up to 10, it's not making a huge difference to who the traitor is then. But so I don't know what you can really do unless there's someone, for some reason, there's a key player in the game that you desperately need to protect. And like, we need this player in the game. They're so useful for some particular reason. We must protect them. Other than that,
yeah.
I don't know how much it matters at this point.
Yeah. So Green arrives next and finds the twist with the same decision, resulting in Love Island Rob getting a coffin. When they go to push the boat off the dock, Johnny falls into the lock.
Which is hilarious. He's the player who, apart from the other figure skater, surely he must have the most athletic sense of balance of anyone on this cast. And he's
on
the one.
Frozen water, not liquid water.
It's liquid. You see, that's the difference.
Yeah,
he
that's
thought
what
it was
threw him
ice.
off. Yeah.
He thought he would just land on a solid surface. Okay.
Yep.
It all makes sense.
Yeah, it surprised the heck out of him when, he didn't conk his head.
Yeah. Oh, also, by the way, I just noticed in this mission, Stephen from One Tree Hill appears in one of the confessionals, and I was like, who the hell's this guy? Like, I haven't know. First of all, I mean, again, I don't know everybody, but I feel like I've caught little glimpses of them all now, and I kind of know their names. I hadn't seen this person in the episode up until now. Is One Tree Hill the only thing this guy's been in? That show was on like 20 years ago. Like,
he was on a reality show before One Tree Hill. I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
But he was on a reality show and then he got into acting and got onto One Tree Hill. And now I'm sure he's done other things since then.
Yeah, it's just funny that it doesn't just say like actor. It's just got like one show that he was on decades ago. Anyway, I'm Stephen. Hello. Hope you have fun.
So Green gets back out there and grabs a coffin right out from under White. Red comes back with another, and someone asks for suggestions, with Tiffany saying to put it in Eric's. When Red runs back to the dock, Green is arriving. Natalie suggests they form an alliance, and they all agree, of course, not knowing that Green already put one in Love Island Rob's grave. I guess this is the type of strategic discussion Rob C. was talking about. And it is a smart idea. But of course, when he was talking about it, there was no other, I mean, unless they were going to go back and get the other group. So yeah, he agrees this is a smart idea. They can pick on the much slower white boat and help protect all of themselves.
Yeah.
So Green puts a coffin in Michael's grave. White finally gets a coffin and heads back to find the twist. Michael is mad to see his own grave already filled, in part because it's clear someone went out of their way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're sort of being very nice about it. I've quoted Michael. She goes, "They put one in mine. Those miserable fucks." Like, Jesus, Michael, calm down. Like, first of all, you've put one in someone else's. Like, it's the game. And in the confessional, he says, "I'm absolutely taking it personally." Like, Michael, I thought you studied the game. You said this earlier. Like,
right.
You can't take it all personally, and if you are going to take it personally this early, it's just not a great sign for you ahead. Like, this is not the game for you, maybe, Michael, if you're calling people miserable fucks at this point. He needs to calm down.
Yes. For their own coffin, a debate ensues. Someone says a housewife, but Candace rejects it. Donna, no, Ron loves her. Rob C, no, he's smart and they need him. Candace pushes for Donna and gets her way. And as they walk back, they realize the others are picking on their group. White and Green arrive back with coffins at the same time, and Jam Jam gets his group to agree to double-cross Red by forming a new alliance. And so that causes Dorinda and Rob C to have their graves filled. They're down to 5 minutes, supposedly. White puts one into Ian's grave. Red puts one in Mark's. White gets one more back with under a minute to spare, and I'm sure they'll get it into a grave just in time like usual, but no. They're seconds too late, and Alan blows the horn, and they're trying to throw it in, but it's not in. And Alan says, "You don't get that one." And Michael argues, "Based on what?" And Alan fires back, "Based on the clock."
This was my favorite moment of the episode. Based on what? Based on the clock.
I mean, to be fair, if he really is, has studied the game, he probably figures the clock never comes into play.
True. Yeah, cracked me up. Alan just taking no shit from Michael. Shut up. It's not in. Get over it.
You might say he clocked him.
By the lock. Clocked at the lock.
Clocked at the lock. That's what they should have named this episode.
Episode title.
Yes. Yes. So they get 22,500 in the pot, and there are 9 of them in danger. Ron, both Robs, Donna, Eric, Michael, Ian, Dorinda, and Mark. The safe players are sent back to the castle. The 9 in danger have to fill in their own graves, which to me seems silly since one of those coffins is going to need to be dug back up tonight to be filled with a body.
Yeah, I did wonder, like, how long are they filming them doing that before they just go, right, cut, you can stop pretending now. Like, we're not really going to make you do this.
I mean, it must be long enough because when they get back to the castle, to skip ahead a minute, all the other players have already changed clothes.
That is true.
And are eating dinner. So, yeah, they must have been there a little while.
I guess.
On the ride back, before that happens, Portia asks about her grave almost being filled, and Candace tells her that Michael wanted to target the housewives. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
After the mission, of course, the safe players start eating dinner, like I said, and then the rest eventually arrive. They don't even change clothes. They just go straight to dinner, which, again, tells me that those clothes are probably upstairs, but they didn't want to go upstairs to change because, eat while it's hot and there's actually still food there.
Yes.
Portia immediately calls out Michael about his anti-housewife stance. What?
I'm giggling to myself because I'm just picturing Mrs. Kelsey just before when they're eating their food. She has her shades on. She's got her plate in her lap. It's like she looks like Al Pacino just sitting there. That just really made me laugh. But yes, then Coffin Gate begins. Yes. Michael Coffin Portia Gate, whatever we want to call it.
Yes, and Michael says, "No, I didn't do that." Ron backs him in saying no, and they all file out to the kitchen where most of the others are eating to confront Candace. And Candace claims Portia misheard her. She didn't say that today. He just said something about the housewives yesterday. And I'm like, sure, okay. And I'm just laughing because it's such a bad excuse. But it doesn't help her that Maura was in the car and says, I don't remember any of it. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know.
Yeah, she's just like, I was looking at the window. I was tired. Yeah. I don't remember. My memory's terrible. But it just seems like such a bad... I mean, Candace is lying. She did say that in the car. I think they even show us a little flashback to it. And she literally says it. And to now be like, I didn't say that. Like, why have you let yourself fall into such a trap? Like, you chose to make this up. And the worst part is that Portia seems to just sort of back down. I think there's a bit in Portia's confessional where she's like, oh, well, yeah, maybe I misheard it. She didn't, which is annoying.
I mean, I think the problem is she's got all these other people telling her the opposite. And you're like, okay, did I mishear? I mean, we know the people have misheard things on the show.
Yeah. So
it certainly happens. I think Candace, in saying it, did not expect Portia to immediately go confront Michael. Candace says there have been a lot of whispers about him targeting housewives. And then off to the side, Natalie's like, and gamers. And... and he says that's offensive because he would be a real piece of shit if he did that. And she responds, yes, You would be. All I want to say is, hey, she said it, not me.
It's just so it's really incredible that it's taken not even a whole episode to get this level of chaos in the kitchen. Like, this is not really a spoiler. UK series has taken like 5 episodes to get to this point.
Right.
US episode 1, we're fighting in the kitchen. People are swearing at each other. It's great reality viewing.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
Love Island Rob thinks Candace is going to get herself in trouble, and I tend to agree. But meanwhile, Michael is very loudly saying his thoughts to the point that Maura just wants him to stop and get out of her ear. Portia doesn't know what to make of this. Monet tells Portia that Michael is giving Traitor, and Rob and Mark are both standing there. Rob said, and whenever I just say Rob, I mean the Rob. Rob says that wouldn't be normal behavior for a traitor unless he's next level, and Rob does not think Michael is next level. And Rob is right, but I'm like yelling at my TV, don't defend him. It's the first vote. Let him be targeted.
Yeah,
especially since so many people watching wanted him out first anyway. Help the viewing audience here. I mean, but aside from that, I really just don't think you want to be seen as defending someone you just met this early.
Yeah, that's a good point. And yeah, I mean, he is right. Yes, Michael is not playing at that level. It's just funny that Candace is like, well, maybe he is. He's not, Candace. He's just...
Well, she knows that, but yeah.
Well, of course.
Well, at least she has a good suspicion of that, I guess. But
yeah.
All right, it is bedtime, which gives us a few scenes of the players in their rooms, and Rob is lying in bed looking as worried as I feel as we head to the first murder.
Yeah, like Dorinda's like rubbing her face with some
rolling
crystal thing.
Yes, yeah. I think it's a roller thing. So we head up to the Traitors turret, and we find out, the shortlist in the U.S. is 4 people instead of 3, like the U.K.
Yeah,
which on the one hand gives them a little more wiggle room, which I like. But then again, I think it's partially, if not entirely, because the secret traitor doesn't know who the others are, which means they could accidentally put one of them on there. And that's exactly what happens, because Love Island Rob is on there along with Ian, Mark, and Eric. So no Rob.
Yeah, I had the same thought earlier in the episode when Alan described the secret traitor. I thought, wait a minute. If the secret traitor doesn't know who the traitors are, what if they, incredibly unlikely, what if they happen to put all 3 traitors on the... So I wondered at the time, maybe the shortlist will have to be 4 or 5 people, and hey, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it's really funny when they read the list out, and Rob, Love Island Rob is the first name, so Love Island Rob's just like, which is so funny because a minute ago they were like, Candace and Lisa were telling him, it's great that your coffin was in the grave. I don't know. Despite several other players already guessing, hey, I bet a traitor's in that group.
Right.
And Rob was like, yeah, this is great for me. And now he's like, oh, shit. I'm on the list. It's also, it's all men. Does that mean something? Is it... Probably not. Is it... are they going to assume, the secret traitor must be a woman? Is it a woman? Is it a man making them think it's a woman? Like... it just struck me that it was 4 guys.
I didn't even notice that. I was so focused on it not being Rob. As of this moment, for predictions, who do you think will be murdered and who will be banished?
I think they will accidentally murder Love Island Rob because they misunderstood the rules. I should have sounded my cliche klaxon, by the way, because we get a cliche from Love Island Rob who, after realizes he's on the murder list, goes, well, I'm a threat. They want me out. No, Rob, that's not why you're on it. My prediction for banishment...
banishment or murder?
Sorry, murder. I'm gonna go with Ian. Maybe they just, because he's a gamer, right? So maybe they just think he's smart, he'll be good at this, let's just get rid of him. And Mark didn't get Mark or Eric, they just didn't have much screen time. So maybe they didn't need screen time because we'll see them next time. So I would guess Ian and yeah, get a gamer out early.
Okay, that's also my prediction.
Okay.
Because he's known to be a dangerous player.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's who I was thinking. That's the conclusion I thought they would reach to.
Okay.
And for banishment, who do you think?
I mean, it's tough. I guess the obvious is Michael because he's just being so wild and erratic.
Hmm.
Maybe it is. Maybe they do get Candace or Lisa. They think, oh, hey, there's their main character. Someone like them might have been chosen. I'll I'll just go for Michael. I'll say maybe it is the
We
obvious, and
have
he's been too wild.
Yeah. We have identical picks.
Oh, okay.
In part, for me, it's because of how he behaved. In part, because I predicted pregame that he would go first, and in part because that's what I want to happen. Uh, are you still on the Donna train with the secret trader? Even though it's almost impossible to tell at this point. But
Uh, I have two guesses. It's either
nope, only
Donna.
one allowed. Yeah.
Oh man, well, this is my shortlist, and then I'll pick one. My shortlist is Donna, or I think it would be hilarious if, or not, maybe not hilarious. I wonder if it is Dorinda, and they'd
Yeah,
be like, right,
that's
we can't have,
yeah.
we can't have her go home first again. To totally eliminate that possibility, let's just make her a traitor. I mean that would be like three housewives, but maybe that's what makes it so unlikely, and that none of the players guess it, and that we don't guess it. Maybe it's. I'm trying to think of who had a lot of screen time. Johnny, maybe Monet. Uh, I'll go with. I'll stick with Mrs. Kelsey, Mama Kelsey.
Okay. I went with Dorinda. I don't really think so, but I'm saying that because it seems like something funny they'd do.
Yeah,
But then again, since there's no gamer in the main group, maybe it's a gamer like Natalie or Jam Jam. And I don't think it can be Tiffany or Rob because Tiffany and Rob wanted to create that gamer alliance, which means they wouldn't have put Ian on the list.
yeah,
Uh, so, um,
yeah. I can. Actually, I'm
so
backtracking. Well, I'm not backtracking. I'm sticking with Mama Kelsey, but Jam Jam have my eye on
mhm.
because of that little moment with Monet. There was a sort of almost awkward. I can't remember. Monet says something like, "Oh yeah, we should be watching everybody." There's a moment where Jam Jam just doesn't respond, and he's sort
Mhm.
of too distracted, looking around. And Monet's. I got the impression Monet was sort of saying, "You didn't reply to what I just said," or I wonder if it was a little clue there. So I'll
Yeah.
keep my eye on Jam Jam.
Okay. All right. Uh, some final thoughts if you have them. What did you think of well, I was going to ask you, you can tell I didn't update this, what you thought of the change in the way they did the secret trader here, but we will hold that
Yeah,
and hopefully be able to do a separate podcast all about that. So again, anyone who may have thoughts or questions or comments about the comparison of the two, let us know. But other
yes.
than that,
Well,
any other final thoughts?
I do have a listener question that we may as well answer now because it's
Okay.
not really connected to UK or anything. So we could just maybe answer this one. This is from Nora on Instagram, who asked, when they arrived, the entire cast acted like they were so surprised to see one another. OMG, you're here, etc. But the cast announcement went out at least 2 weeks before they went to Scotland to film. Make it make sense, please.
No, it
So
didn't. No, it
did
didn't.
the
I know
cast?
exactly
Yeah.
when the cast announcement went out because I
Okay.
was tracking Rob at the time. And
So what's the timeline then?
literally, they were in Scotland. It was when they landed in Scotland
Ah,
that it happened. Um, because as soon as it was announced, then RHAP did um, a special podcast where they had a bunch of the podcasters come on and talk about what they thought about it. And it was live, there was no notice given. And I had just stepped into a car to go visit my son 5 hours away. So I was not able to jump on that. So I know exactly when the announcement happened. And no, they were already in Scotland
okay.
when it happened. So sorry
And I
to come out so
guess
strongly and be like,
no,
no,
no, no.
but yeah.
I guess that's why they announced it then, because there was, that whole cast have vanished for like a fortnight, so they
Right.
probably people were going to figure it out at that point. So that's
Yes,
when
and
they
there
just
were. I mean,
decided.
there were already rumors, and maybe that's what the commenter is thinking of. There were already rumors
Okay.
swirling. So yes, is it possible that some of them knew those rumors? Yeah, but you're not going to then go on TV and basically admit, "Oh, I was reading the rumor mill and saw that you were going to be on here." No, you're going to pretend because you don't want to get in trouble with production.
Yeah. In terms of my final thoughts, there was a lot going on in this episode. I was sort of worried, anytime that I have to watch two series simultaneously, I thought,
Yes.
oh, am I going to get confused? I'm not going to get confused. Like, it's a very different show.
Yeah.
It's a very different cast, and I guess it's helpful that they're treating the secret traitor a little differently. That's helping me differentiate. It's interesting to see how they've approached it. The opening ceremony of the caskets and the cards.
Hmm.
Those I want those. I hope they release merch with the cool like cards that they've been using in all the promo. Like, I want those. So I it's it seems like, I guess I've probably said this every season, they've sort of gone all in, bigger and better. I even saw, I think like CBS did a like little feature. I saw it on Instagram. It was like behind the scenes of the Traitors, and they had
Peacock, not
one of
CBS.
the oh, I felt like it was like a news channel
Could
though.
be
Anyway,
NBC. Could be NBC,
maybe it
which
was
is
NBC's,
owns
like
Peacock.
their
Yeah.
breakfast show or something. They had one of the
Yeah.
hosts. I think they were interviewing Alan on set at the castle and showing us behind the scenes and everything. So they're really, they're amping it up. They're trying to get as much eyes on it, as many eyes on it. Yeah, big, exciting beginning, interesting choice of traitors. I'm surprised there's not a gamer in there. Does that mean it's one of the secret traitors? Yeah, I'm more, it's funny when the Secret Traitor twist was announced for UK, I was really dubious about it. I didn't know if I was going to like it. I've ended up being okay with it. It's quite fun, the guessing game, however long it ends up lasting. So this time I'm sort of settled into the guessing game, and I'm quite happy to play along and follow the clues and see what I can figure out by the time it all comes out. So I was, yeah, I did, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good
Yeah.
first step.
Yeah, I thought so too. I mean, most of my final thoughts would have been about the Secret Trader comparison, so we'll hold those off. Otherwise, yeah, it was a good episode, some interesting choices, like you said, and we'll see where it goes from here.
Yes.
But before we find out where it goes from here, we will be wrapping this podcast up. And Matthew, since you're a stranger here, where can people find you?
To make sure that you are up to date with the podcast and Traitors news and updates from UK and US and any other countries that we cover. Sometimes a little video from me. You can follow on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at the Trader Podcast. And I've been on this mission to reach 1,000 followers on Instagram. I'm pretty confident that that's going to happen within maybe the next week or so. So thank you so much to
Ooh.
everybody who's been following. The reason I'm trying to reach 1,000 followers is because I can then do live videos again on Instagram because they've changed their rules a little. You can send me comments and DMs on those platforms, or you can email me at thetradeartpodcast@gmail.com. For the time being, if you send me questions about US traders, I'll probably send them to David, who can then address them on the pod until I return. You can also send a voice note so that you can be heard on the podcast, and you can tell us your thoughts and questions at memo.fm/the Trader Podcast. Wherever you're listening, of course, it's great to subscribe, follow, leave nice reviews. Thank you so much to everybody who's doing that. I noticed that on Spotify, there are now almost 200 star ratings. So
Nice.
thank you to everybody who's listened to me saying, please leave a review, and you've actually done it. And you can support the podcast in a couple of different ways. You can show your love for the show and for the pod by acquiring some podcast merch. Ooh, at thetrader.redbubble.com. There are all sorts of things on there. And if you wanted to maybe put in a little amount to help us keep it going, but you don't want to subscribe to anything and you don't need merch, you could visit ko-fi.com. That's ko-fi.com/Matthew Keeley. You can chip in an amount that you choose. And thank you to all the people who have been doing that over the past few weeks. Very much appreciated.
Yeah, your mention of merch reminded me that when you said hopefully they'll sell those fake tarot card things,
Mm,
I don't think they will because I have seen the Traders International, which includes UK, website for merch, and I've seen the Peacock website for merch. I like the international one much better. I find the US one kind of boring.
okay.
So
I have noticed
unfortunately,
they've got they're selling the like gold coins that they found in the missions. I think
oh, did
it's
they?
some sort of
Okay.
like on the UK store. It's like this sort of
Oh, the
limited
UK.
edition.
Okay.
So they look
Okay.
cool, and they're selling like big full size shields with the chain. So there's some cool stuff
Yeah.
there. Not as cool as the podcast merch, obviously.
Well, obviously, yes, yes. All right. Well, I am all over social media and reality TV podcasting. Right now, I'm mostly, well, right here, as I join you to discuss the Traders UK every third episode. And I'm here, of course, for every episode of the Traders US. I'll also be doing a special Survivor 50 preseason podcast on RHAP soon. In addition, I'm of course doing my TikTok and YouTube videos, most of which are for the Traders US and UK, plus some lead ins for Survivor 50 and some Beast games. Plus, I will be doing special mini Why Blank Lost videos on those channels for every murdered and banished player on the Traders US. And you can find me at David Bloomberg TV on all the video sites. You can also find all my various accounts through my Linktree, where it is Linktree/David Bloomberg. And you can find me on Blue Sky as at David Bloomberg. With that, Matthew, thank you so much for joining me on episode one.
It's thank you for inviting me onto this podcast that I'd never heard of before.
Yeah.
And I guess it's obvious now, but I should have added, yes, I'm covering UK Traitors right now. In fact, I'll be recording the episode 5 coverage in about 2 hours and editing and uploading shortly after that. So if you're watching UK Traitors, you should, make sure that you're listening to all our coverage of that. And we're kind of doing 2 episodes of the pod for every episode of the TV show for UK because there are so many listener questions and thoughts and comments coming in. I kind of can't keep it all to one pod, so there's a hell of a lot going on there to keep you entertained.
Yes. And as the reason why Matthew can't be on all of these, while he is recording episode 5 of the UK podcast, I will be recording episodes 2 and 3 of the US podcast, literally at the same time, even though we're in much different time zones. But I will be back on the UK for episode 6, and then Matthew will be back here in a few weeks for episode 7. But in the meantime, like I said, I'll be back in just a few hours. Hopefully, we can get it posted at similar times with another special guest to discuss episodes 2 and 3. So always remember, stay traitorous.
Laters, traders.